More nuts! More nuts! More nuts!
What's up, you guys? My name is Jasper, and in today's video we'll be covering part 2 of our mini-series looking at the Great Dark Beyond's newest editions, and today we're going to be looking at the return of the Spellburst ability. So just a quick history on the Spellburst ability. This was actually originally introduced in the Scholomance Academy expansion and Hearthstone, which was added in patch 18.0 all the way back in 2020. At the time of its introduction, it actually created a lot of very unique utility and interactions with the board and your deck, which was something that hadn't really been seen too much before this time. A good example of just to kind of give a visual of what this looks like, you have a Spellburst minion on your board, you go ahead and cast a spell from your hand, and after that, once it is cast, it automatically triggers a Spellburst ability. And then after that, depending on what the Spellburst is, it interacts with the board, your cards, the other hero, or yourself. And with all the cards that have been introduced with this expansion that have Spellburst, they all look very promising. Regardless of being a neutral minion or even a class-specific minion, they actually seem to be encouraging getting you past winning on turn 5. And regardless of whether you run a tempo deck or you run a more late game strategy deck, Spellburst is definitely going to make a big impact going forward, both in standard and wild, and I'm really excited to see what kind of combos and just all the different hijinks that people are going to be able to kind of create and craft and be able to pull off having access to these cards and the different synergies that they could create with it. Before we kind of wrap up the video, there's one or two things, technically two cards that I'd like to highlight, and I'm putting them on the screen right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at these. Oh, and I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this name. Kure. Regardless, it is a priest Spellburst card, but if you notice the text below, it says holy spells do not remove this Spellburst. The other card I would like to just take a quick moment to highlight is much more easily named Kaara, the Dark Star. It is a Warlock Spellburst card, and if you also notice at the bottom, it says shadow spells do not remove this Spellburst. It of course looks like on some cards there is a caveat with the Spellburst, and it might not be triggered by certain spell classes as well. So that's something just to keep in mind as you're building your decks and as you're looking through your specific class cards, or even some of the neutral cards as well, as they might have a few caveats on how and what activates the Spellburst. And with that, we have reached the end of part 2 in our mini-series covering all the newest additions coming in the Great Dark Beyond. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you do enjoy the content that I put out, and just be sure to ring the bell for notifications as I'm starting to put out 2 videos a week. I'm gonna, at the bare minimum, put out 1 a week as well. And of course, the last episode, episode 3 in our Great Dark Beyond mini-series, is already in the works and should be coming out soon. But that's all I have for today. Stay safe, take care, and this is Jasper, signing off.